In this video, we are going to learn how you can add new bills by customers to Google Sheets automatically. So the idea here is that whenever you add a new customer data to your bills by account, automatically the same customer details should be added to your spreadsheet program, that is your Google Sheets, for the backup reasons. For that, you need to integrate your bills by account with Google Sheets. So here your trigger application would be bills by and your action application would be Google Sheets. So how you can integrate both these software applications using Pabbly Connect? For that, you need to come to my screen. So welcome to my screen. Here let us type Pabbly, pabbly.com in our browser. This is the website of Pabbly. Here we have to come to products and click on Pabbly Connect. This is the landing page of Pabbly Connect. As you are the first time user, you have to click on sign up for free button and you can create your own account in just 2 minutes and you're going to get free tasks every month. If you're already a user of Pabbly Connect, simply click on sign in. In the all apps section, come to Pabbly Connect and click on access now. This is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here we have to create a workflow. For that, come to this plus sign and click on create workflow. Now here we have to give a name to the workflow. So let us give the name as add new bills by customers to Google Sheets. Here you can give the workflow name as per your requirement and simply click on create. Now we can see a trigger window and an action window. So Pabbly Connect works on the concept of trigger and action. Trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So in this particular use case, we want that whenever we create a new customer in our bills by account, automatically the customer details should be added to your Google Sheets for the backup reasons. So first we have to create an integration between your bills by account and Pabbly Connect so that all the customer details are captured in Pabbly Connect. So simply open this trigger window and here choose the application name as bills by. Select the trigger event as configure webhooks. So this triggers on various events of customer, subscription, invoice and credit note. Now here we can see a webhook URL and some instructions. So by following these instructions, you can set up the webhook in your bills by account. And here it is also mentioned that you have to log into your bills by account. Go to the left sidebar, settings, configuration and webhooks. Copy the webhook URL and paste it under the URL field. Okay, so let's copy this webhook URL from here and I'll just take you to my bills by account. So this is my bills by dashboard. On the left hand side, we can find the settings option and here we can find the configuration option also. Simply click on configuration. Okay, and when we scroll down here, we can find API option and here we can find API keys and webhooks. Open it. Simply click on webhooks option over here. And here we have to paste the webhook URL that we have copied from Pabbly Connect. Okay, and now let's click on update webhook details. So the webhook is saved over here. Now let's move back to Pabbly Connect. And now here we can see that it is waiting for the webhook response. So in order to capture the response, we have to do a test submission. It means we have to create a new customer in our bills by account. So I'll just take you to my bills by account once again. And here we'll be moving to the customers section. Okay, and here we are going to add a new customer by clicking on this add a customer manually button. Okay. Here let's give the customer full name as demo name. Email address as demo@pabblytudes.com. Let's enter the billing address as EM18 Royal Park. City as Bhopal. Let's enter the zip code over here. Country as India. And state as MP. And let's click on continue. Continue without payment details. Okay. And here we can see customer has been successfully created. That is demo@pabblytudes.com. This is the email address of the customer. Customer full name as demo name. And here we can find the created date. Status as active. And here we have got the customer ID also. Okay, now let's move back to Pabbly Connect. And when we scroll down here, we can see that the same response details are captured over here. We can find the unique customer ID over here, email address of the customer, first name, last name, and here we have got the type as customer created. So this particular trigger is going to run for various events. So here we are going to apply a filter, okay, so that whenever a new customer is created, then only this particular workflow should run further, okay. Now for that, we have to just come to this action step. And here choose the application name as filter. Now here we have to select the label. So the label would be the customer type. Okay, so here we have to select the same label, that is type, that we have got from our trigger response. If the type is equal to customer created, okay, then only this particular workflow should run further. Okay, now let's click on save and send test request. And here we have got the status success message, condition is true. Okay, why the condition is true? Just because the type captured over here is customer created only. So this particular workflow is going to run now. Okay. So now we want to add this customer details in our Google Sheet. But first we need to check whether the same customer is already existing in our Google Sheet or not. So I'll first show you my Google Sheet. This is the bills by data Google Sheet that I have created. Okay. And here this is the customer data sheet and this is the vendor data sheet. So here in the customer data sheet, I have added the fields for the customer ID, first name, last name, and the email address of the customer. So first we need to check whether the customer is already existing in our Google Sheet or not. For that, come to Pabbly Connect once again and scroll down. And here click on this plus sign to add an action step. And now here choose the application name as Google Sheets. Now here we have to select the action event. So action event would be lookup spreadsheet rows. Click on connect, click on add new connection and click on connect with Google Sheets. Now it is asking me to choose my account. So let's choose the account from here. Pabbly Connect Sheets wants additional access to your Google account. So let's click on continue to give away the access over here as the data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect. Authorization successful and now the Google Sheets are connected to Pabbly Connect. Now here it is selecting. Now here we need to select the spreadsheet name. In which spreadsheet we want to search for the data. So we want to search for the data in bills by data spreadsheet. So we have to select the same spreadsheet name over here. Even we have to select the specific sheet name also, that is customer data. Now here it is asking for the lookup column. In which column you want to search the data. Okay. So I'll just take you to my Google Sheet. So we want the email address to be searched and the column would be D column. So here we have to specify the lookup column as column D. And here it is asking lookup value. What do you want to search in this particular column? So we want to search the email address of the customer that we have got from our trigger response over here. Okay. As the email address will be unique for each and every customer, we will be searching the email address. Okay. So let's scroll down and here we'll be mapping the email address of the customer from bills by customer trigger response. Okay. Now let's click on save and send test request. Okay, and here we have got the response result as data not found just because this particular email address does not exist in our Google Sheet. Okay, now here there can be two conditions. First, the customer may exist, the email address may exist in this particular Google Sheet. And the second condition would be the email address does not exist in our Google Sheet. So we need to apply a filter once again. So let's move back to Pabbly Connect. Okay, click on this plus sign add action step. And here again choose the application name as filter. And here we'll be selecting the label. So let's open this particular drop down, come to Google Sheets and in the responses we have to select response result. So if the response result of our third step exists, then only this particular workflow should run. And we are going to apply one more condition over here. And that will be an AND condition. So click on this plus sign, add AND condition. And if the response result of the third step, okay, third step is this one, where we have searched for the email address in our Google Sheet. If the response result of the third step is equal to data not found, then only this particular workflow should run. It means if the email address does not exist, then only create a new customer data or add the new customer data in the Google Sheet. So let's check the condition by clicking on save and send test request. Okay, here the status is success, message, condition is true. Now we are going to create a new customer in our Google Sheet. So click on this plus sign add action step once again and choose the application name as Google Sheets. Select the action event as add new row. Click on connect. Here we'll be selecting the existing connection just because we have recently created a connection. Simply click on save. And now here again we need to select the spreadsheet name where we want to add the data. So we want the data to be added in our bills by data spreadsheet which is automatically captured correctly over here. Even the sheet name is automatically captured as customer data correctly. So if you want to change the sheet name from the drop down, you can select your specific sheet name. Now here we have to map the data, that is the customer ID, first name, last name and other details of the customer that we have got from the trigger response. I'll show you once again. Okay, this data we will be mapping now. For mapping, scroll down and simply click it over here. Come to Billsby and here we'll be mapping the customer ID. Okay, this is the unique ID of the customer. Here we'll be mapping the first name, that is demo. Here we'll be mapping the last name, that is name, and here we'll be mapping the email address of the customer. Okay, so we have mapped all the details. Now let's click on save and send test request. Okay, and here we can see that the response is received. It means the details are added to our Google Sheet. Let's check it. Okay, and here we have got the customer ID. Here we have got the first name of the customer as demo, last name as name, and here we have got the email address. So in this way, we can see that our integration is working fine. Let's move back to Pabbly Connect and let us save this workflow first. Data saved successfully. Okay. Now, as we have created an automation, next time whenever you're going to add a new customer in your Billsby account, automatically the customer details will be added to your Google Sheet. So let us check this in the real time that whether our integration is actually working fine or not. So let's move to the Billsby account and here I'm just going to create a new customer. So let's click on add a customer button. Here I'll be just adding the full name of the customer as demo name itself. So why I'm selecting the same name just to check that whether our integration is actually working correctly or not. Okay, let us select the email address as demo@pabblytudes.com and let us enter some random address details over here. In the Spark, okay, city as Bhopal, zip code, country as India, and let's add the state and click on continue. Continue with that payment details. Okay, and here we can see that the same customer name is added over here, demo name. Okay, and here we have got a unique customer ID, a different customer ID this time. Now we have to check whether the same customer details are added in our Google Sheet or not. We have to just refresh our Google Sheet. Okay, so here we can see that the customer details are not added just because the email address of both the customers are same, demo@pabblytudes.com. Okay, I'll just make it unbold. Okay. So here we can see that both the customers are having the same name as well as the same email address. That is why the same customer details are not added in our Google Sheet. Okay. Now we are going to check it for another customer. So let's add another customer over here. And this time I'm just going to give the full name as dummy customer and email address as dummy@pabblytudes.com. Let's give the email address details over here. Royal Avenue. Okay, city as Indore. Let's enter the zip code. Country as India. And state as MP. Let's click on continue. Continue without payment details. Okay, and here we can see customer has been successfully created. So here we can see that a new customer detail is added to our Billsby account. Now let's check our Google Sheet. Okay, and here we can see that a new customer detail is added over here. Customer ID is captured over here. Customer name as dummy. Last name as customer, and here we have got the email address of the customer. So in this way, we can see that our integration is perfectly working fine. Let's move back to Pabbly Connect and I'll just minimize all these windows and let us see in a nutshell what work we have done till now. Okay, so first we have created an integration between Billsby and Pabbly Connect so that whenever a new customer is added to your Billsby account, automatically the details are captured in Pabbly Connect. Then we have applied a filter over here just because we have got the responses of various events in our trigger response. So we want that whenever a new customer is created, then only this particular workflow should run further. Okay, then we have searched for the specific customer data in our Google Sheet, that whether the customer is existing or not. And if the customer is not existing, for that we have applied a filter that if the customer is not existing, then only this workflow should run further. And then using the details of the trigger response, we have added the customer details in our Google Sheet. And in this way, we have learned that how we can add our new bills by customer details to our Google Sheets automatically using Pabbly Connect. Thank you.
So not just these software applications, you can integrate a ton of applications and automate your business using Pabbly Connect. In case of any queries, you can visit our Pabbly forum. To check the pricing details of Pabbly Connect, you can visit this particular URL. Also, the link of Pabbly Connect and this workflow is available in the description box. You can clone the same workflow into your account directly. If you really like this video, please comment, share and subscribe. Thank you everyone.